Hey everybody out there in YouTube! Welcome back to another episode of Atlantis After Dark. I'm the old school AB, and today I have one of the hardest and yet easiest tasks. Oh boy, I labored over it all week. I had to listen to rock and roll. Oh no, whatever will I do? At any rate, the greatest time I had was researching this video because I decided to try and do something that I thought up until now was quite impossible. And that is, today on the channel, I'll be ranking the Led Zeppelin albums. Now, bear in mind, I'm just going to be reviewing the studio records and not the live albums or any of the compilations, just the official releases. There are 9 records, 9 LPs to get through. So, without any further ado, I don't feel like wasting a lot of time, and neither do you. Let's get into it! Welcome back to Double AD, everyone. So glad you could join us. Do me a favor. Before we start, make sure you're subscribed. Make like the Fonz and give me a thumbs up, you know, all that jazz. It helps me grow and it helps me know. It helps me know what you guys want and what you don't want. Leave me some comments. I know this one might get testy, but trust me guys, everyone gets to be a winner today. Because there are no bad Led Zeppelin records, right? There are some records I like more than others, and you know, this is just my opinion, so you know, if you feel the need to leave me a mean comment, I guess you can, but you know, they'll probably get ignored. Saying that though, the order of my ranking might surprise you. It might be surprising to some. And the only reason I'm doing this is to pay homage, or homage, as some people would like to call it, depending on where you're from, I guess. Yeah, pay homage to the greatest rock band of all time, and who wouldn't want to do that, right? Plus, there might be some Easter eggs and things you want to remember in this video as we get to the end. Sort of like a little treasure hunt for your memory as you watch the video together. Plus, I'll give you a special quick live album ranking at the end of the video, just because I can't leave out the live albums. I'll rank them separately from the rest of the catalog, but yeah. Those two are definitely in different categories. They're both different beasts. But for now, let's not waste a lot more time. Let's get right into it and start ranking the records. What's at the bottom of the pile? Let's find out. Coming in at number 9, it's In Through the Outdoor. What can I say about this record? I love Fool in the Rain and All My Love, but I never really got into a lot of the other songs. I guess I found a lot of them too synth heavy. In the Evening is decent, but the rest of these songs are just average, which for Led Zeppelin means they're awesome. See, I told you everyone gets what they want today. And it's been documented that both Jimmy Page and John Bonham were missing from a lot of the recording sessions because they were constantly stoned and drunk. And it shows here, and I'm not talking shit when I say this, I'm just telling the truth. If 2 wheels on a car fall off, you can probably still drive it, but it wouldn't be as smooth, right? I like a lot of the material that was left on the cutting room floor of this record better than some of the stuff that wound up on the record. As you'll see later. That's not a knock against John Paul Jones and Robert Plant, who did most of the record. Like I said, I still dig a lot of the music on here. And for what it's worth, I'm Gonna Crawl is a beautifully written song and a great way to end the record, what would be Zeppelin's last studio record. And I think this proves that even when the band is 50%, the sound is still there, even though it's slightly muted. The drums still sound huge, don't get me wrong, and Plant still belts out one last ballad for the lonely hearts out there, every little bit, right? It's a great record, right? Unfortunate because something has to be at the bottom of the pile. I still like it, I just don't spin it as much as other Zeppelin records. What other records do I spin more? Let's find out. Coming in at number 8, it's Coda. And what a ripper of an opener. We're gonna open with a groove that just hits right out of the gate, man. Poor Tom is great, and of course the soundcheck version of I Can't Quit You Babe probably makes this record great in and of itself. But the inclusion of the outtakes from In Through the Outdoor, where I think some of the material is better than what wound up on the record. Ozone Baby rocks, and so does Wearing and Tearing. And you know what else rocks? Darlene. I know some people don't dig that tune, but I do. I think it sounds more like classic Zeppelin than some of the other stuff that was released later on. What else here? Bonzo's Montreux is a decent little ass kicker of a solo percussion number. And I think that's a nice little showcase for his amazing and unmatchable drum sound. It's not something I can listen to on repeat, but I'm glad it's not off the album. Of course, it should be the tribute to him. Otherwise, this is a fun little record. I realize this is just a record of extras and outtakes and rarities and what have you, but I think it works as their final release. It's a nice way to send off one of the most important and influential rock bands of all time. Fantastic record. Don't sleep on it. Give it a whirl. You might dig it. Next record. Coming in at number 7, it's Presence. And is there any other opener that rocks harder than Achilles' Last Stand? Is there really? I mean, come on. It's the best. Other great tunes. There's so many to choose from here. For Your Life, Nobody's Fault But Mine, Candy Store Rock, all great classic Led Zeppelin tunes. The rest of this record is good, but some of this record might be left to center for the average rock fan just discovering Zeppelin for the first time. Hot Song for Nowhere comes to mind. What a great, fun, and quirky song, but it's not something I would hold up as an introduction to the band, you know? Royal Orleans is a fun time. It has a nice little bounce to it. And T for One is a great example of the band showcasing what it does best. I love the way it goes from rock to blues and back again. What can I say, man? Zeppelin fucking rules. And by all accounts, Presence is a great record that, despite being low on this list, still freaking rocks. I know, guys, some of these rankings hurt me too, and if it was up to me, I would just make them all S tier and call it a day. In fact, that's kind of what they are, but I can't do that. I have to adhere to my journalistic integrity. I have to think about that. Anyways, love Presence, great record. Next album. Dropping in at number 6, it's Houses of the Holy. Another great opening track. Is there any such thing as a bad opening track on a Led Zeppelin record? If there is, let me know in the comments. I don't think there is, but maybe you do. I don't know. Another great opening track. The song remains the same, is epic in and of itself. I mean, they named an entire documentary film after it, for God's sakes. But the real stars on this record for me have to be 2 of my top favorite Led Zeppelin songs of all time. And they would be No Quarter and The Ocean. I love the eerie keys and the main riff of No Quarter. It's heavy without being intrusive, and it's a beautifully written tune, written by John Paul Jones. The Ocean might be one of those songs that are always guaranteed to get me up and moving. I love the intro too. We've done 4 already, but now we're steady, and then they went. 1, 2, 3, 4. What a badass intro. Other great songs like Dire Maker, Dancing Days, Over the Hills and Far Away, those are all great too. And of course, the Rain song is probably one of the most beautiful songs in the entire Led Zeppelin catalog. In fact, this record might have the best side 2 of any Led Zeppelin record, full stop. I mean, I could easily make a case for it. All 4 songs are a literal who's who of hit tunes, right? I mean, Dancing Days, Dire Maker, No Quarter, The Ocean. I mean, they're all great. Houses of the Holy rocks, and it's unfortunate that it has to be as low as it does on the list, because this is an S-tier record. In fact, I think I've said it before, all of these are S-tier records. Do your homework, everybody. This is a great record. Listen to it. Don't skip a song. Next album. Coming in at number 5. It's the double album, Physical Graffiti. And this, I think, is the most fun collection of Zeppelin tunes. And you get twice as much. It's the first and only double album, and double studio album, I should say. And let me tell you all, this thing smokes. Outside of the numerically ordered albums, I think this one exceeds all the others to me in terms of listenability. There's so many fun little tunes on here, and each one tells a tiny little story. It kind of does look like and sound like the apartment building that the album cover describes here. It's amazing. In My Time of Dying is my favorite Led Zeppelin song of all time. Cough. Custard Pie, The Rover, Kashmir, Trampled Underfoot, Night Flight, The Wanton Song, all rock super hard. Black Country Woman is a real sleeper of a hit. If you haven't made it that far, you really need to. What a fun tune. Who am I kidding? All these tunes are fun. Boogie with Stu is excellent as well. Again, what a fun little tune. And speaking of Kashmir, if there was a top 6 of all-time favorite Led Zeppelin songs, I would have included it. It just gets edged out by The Ocean. Let that be an indication of just how powerful I think this whole record is. Not a bad song on here, in my opinion. Put the record on while you're doing chores or while you're playing video games. It's a great way to spend the lazy Sunday afternoon you've been wanting to. Next record. Coming in at number 4. It's the debut album, Led Zeppelin. And the debut record being this low on the list? Well, yeah. That doesn't mean it's bad. By no means is this record bad. That just means there are other records I like more. Now, come on. There's some amazing music on this record. You have to remember when you listen to this that this came out in 1969, folks. Groundbreaking stuff. Good Times, Bad Times is a fantastic live opener as well as an album opener, and it's one they use quite frequently, or they used to use it quite frequently. Other songs like Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, Communication Breakdown, I Can't Quit You, Baby, and Your Time Is Gonna Come, they all rule. You Shook Me is fantastic, but Dazed and Confused might be the best track on the record. Often imitated, never ever duplicated. This record sets the tone for all other Led Zeppelin albums to come. One of the greatest debut records of all time. It was just so different than anything else that came out before it, and to this day, it remains unmatched in terms of quality, in terms of musicianship, in terms of just pure creativity of what they were trying to do. I cannot recommend this record enough. Get out there and give it a listen if you can. It's free on YouTube. When you're done listening to this, go out there and listen to this record on YouTube. And then tell me, come back here into the comments and tell me that you don't think this is one of the greatest debut records of all time. I dare you. Next record. Coming in at number 3, it's Led Zeppelin 3. Immigrant Song might be one of those tracks that just kick your nuts off right away, and good thing too, because it leads off an amazing record. Some people think this record is a little acoustic heavy, and I think it is too, which is why I think I like it so much. Not that I don't like the heavier stuff or the more synth heavy songs. This is just a nice album of great little songs, not unlike Physical Graffiti. Can I say that about just about every Led Zeppelin album? I think I can, yeah. I think I've always just loved the sound of Jimmy Page playing acoustic guitar. On this record, it doesn't matter. Electric, acoustic, it's all the same to me. There are some things that sneak up on you, like Gallows Pole, which builds and builds and builds until it gets to where it needs to be. And other songs keep the flow going with Tangerine and Brawny R Stomp and Celebration Day, Out on the Tiles. What a great tune. They all lend themselves well to the rock portion of the record. And I put this record up here this high because I think it's easier to listen to and re-listen to than the debut record is. For as much as I love the debut record, I think this record shows the growth that they did in the last few years. Not only technically, but while paying homage to what was built before it, with 1 and 2 respectively. I can't say enough good things about 3. If you're not into it, don't sleep on it. Give it a spin. You might reimagine yourself in love with this record all over again. Next album. Hey, mama said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Oh yeah, I love this fucking record. And I'm sure this would be most people's first pick, and I can see why. Black Dog is one of my top 5 Led Zeppelin songs of all time. And the fact that it starts off the record is like having your icing before and after your cake. Maybe that song being so great taints my view of this record, or maybe it doesn't, and this thing just fucking rules. But I can tell you this, every song on this record is a hit. Every fucking song. Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Misty Mountain Hop, Going to California, 4 Sticks, When the Levee Breaks. It's all killer and no filler right there. And there's one other song that we haven't talked about yet, one of the most popular songs, if not the most popular song in their catalog. Of course, I'm talking about the Battle of Evermore. No, I'm kidding. I'm talking about Stairway to Heaven. But don't overlook Battle of Evermore. That thing fucking rocks too. I never get tired of it. But I also never get tired of Stairway. And the only authorized cover of this song is when Hart covered it, when Zeppelin was honored at the Kennedy Center some years ago. That's another great video you should watch on YouTube. And if not for anything else, just to see the band's reaction to their own greatest hit being played in front of them live with Ann and Nancy Wilson. Oh my God, what an amazing video. Amazing stuff, and this is an amazing record. But there can be only one other album. You guys know what it is, I'm sure. Let's get into it. Coming in at the coveted #1 spot, you guessed it, Led Zeppelin 2. Here it is, the greatest Zeppelin record of all time, and one that I hold on a very high pedestal indeed. We have a true masterpiece of rock and roll here. And if you've seen my other videos where I rank my top 20 albums of all time, you'll know where I put this record in terms of my all-time favorite records, which should say something about this thing, right? By the way, if you want to go back and watch that video, it's right here on my channel. Please go check it out. By the way, my second favorite Led Zeppelin song of all time is on this record, Whole Lotta Love, followed closely by the Lemon Song, which would be another pick tied for 6th place, falling just short of my top 5. And this is part of the reason why this record is so special for me, because there are so many songs here that I could say are tied for 6th place. My God. By the way, were you guys all able to get all 5 of my top 5 favorite Led Zeppelin songs in order? Can you list them in order? I think I gave you enough clues. I know I gave that little hidden Easter eggs and gems all throughout the video. You should be able to do it. Let me know in the comments if you can remember what my top 5 favorite Led Zeppelin songs of all time are. I'll even give you bonus points if you can tell me what my top 6 favorite Zeppelin songs of all time are. But look at this track list. I mean, oh my God, Becky, look at this track list. Whole Lotta Love, What Is and What Should Never Be, the Lemon Song, I love the Lemon Song, Thank You, and Heartbreaker, and Living Loving Maid, Ramble On, one of the greatest live songs they ever do, Moby Dick, which is a nice little ode to Bonham there, John Bonham's little drum solo there, Bring It On Home, a nice little bluesy tune. Come on, it's one of the greatest, if not the greatest records of all time. And that is pretty much all I have for you. Oh wait, I do have one other thing for you. Let's go to the bonus ranking albums. Let's go to the bonus rankings. Let's go to the bonus live rankings. Yeah, I knew if I said it enough times it would come out. Anyways, moving on. All right, as promised, let's talk a little bit about the live albums. There's only 4 live albums that I really want to rank, and we'll go over them here as I talk about them. The last one, BBC Sessions. It is a great song, no doubt about it. I'm sorry, not a song. It's a great album, no doubt about it. But I think it's more a collection of songs than it is a live album. And I think if you press the band, they would even say the same thing. This is just a collection of the different recordings and things they had done for BBC back in the day. Number 3, I think I'd like to put How the West Was Won in the 3rd spot. And the reason for that isn't because of the quality. It's certainly not to do with the quality. The quality is awesome. The the problem with it is there's so many different versions of this record out there. And you know, some people will get what I call subpar versions. Do yourselves a favor. Before you go out and get this record, make sure you're getting the best version of this possible. There's only one version out there that's best. Make sure you're getting all the tracks. Don't let the record companies or subsequent releases get in your way. Look for the real stuff. Number 2, the song remains the same. What a nice little documentary film they did back in the day. I think it works. I think it works as the definitive Led Zeppelin documentary. I don't think you can fuck with it in terms of what it presents, how it's presented, and what it does. It's a great fucking video. But for my money, the best live Led Zeppelin album is Celebration Day. Maybe that's a hot take for some people out there. I don't know. For me, I think it is. If it's the last album they do, if it's the last live album they ever put out, if it's the last anything they do, I'm happy with it. In fact, I'm ecstatic about it because it really showcases, after all this time, these guys can still get up there and put on a fucking show. And yeah, it's sad. They don't have John Bonham, their original drummer, anymore. But I'll tell you what, Jason Bonham does a fantastic job. That kid is gold. This whole thing has been gold. And I want to tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for being here with me today. If you like what you see, do all the jazz I told you at the beginning of the video. Like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, do like the Fonz, hey, give me a thumbs up, hey. And my gosh, we will see you all next time right here on the mothership, Atlantis After Dark. So long, everybody.